Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here, and today I'm going to be talking about the new item that was discovered today that is coming in the Crown Tundra DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield that actually changes competitive quite a bit, and I'm pretty excited for it. So I want to give a big shout out to Matt, who, well, I'll basically say it says it right here. Thanks to those who brought it to my attention. Looks like item 1606 from DLC 2 is an ability capsule designed to change ability to hidden ability. So we finally have a hidden ability capsule. We had ability capsules before, and they could only change between the already abilities that the Pokemon would have, never hidden. But as you can see from this video right here, he goes to the hidden ability capsule right there, clicks on a regular score bunny, and is able to change it to its hidden ability. Now, a few things before we get into this. It does not work in reverse. So no, you're not going to be able to use your Fissure No Guard Machamp. I'm sorry to those that just wanted to do that in Battle Spot or Battle Stadium, me included. Now this is pretty big for both, I think, well, competitive Pokemon, but also for those that like a more casual approach and like shiny hunting and whatnot. I know some people will hatch thousands of eggs, and this is real, right? They'll try to get like a shiny Pokemon with a hidden ability, and they finally hatch a shiny, and it's not a hidden ability. So I know you guys are definitely happy about that. But from a competitive point, or from a competitive point in general, it basically means that, you know, there's nothing holding back whatever Pokemon we have, right? We can finally use specific Pokemon with these abilities, and just a few that are already in Pokemon Sword and Shield, but some of the big ones, we can use Sandrush, Dracovish, Sandrush, Dracozolt, Slush Rush, Arctovish, and Slush Rush, Arctozolt because of this. So I think that would be really cool. I'm a little bit excited to see if, I don't think Dracovish will be coming back, but maybe we will eventually allow that back. But I think it's a great alternative to Dracozolt, just on sand teams in general, especially when you think about it. I mean, I'll talk about Dracovish a little bit, but when you think about sand teams, right, you have your bread and butter, right, Hippowdon and Excadrill, and what walls those two? Corviknight, unless you're using some sort of gravity with Earthquake, but hey, in comes Dracozolt with its Bolt Beak doubling in power because it outspeeds the opponent. Now, granted, there is a trade-off when it comes to Hustle versus Sandrush. You're trading the ridiculous power of Hustle but the chance to miss versus the accuracy but most likely outspeeding your opponent. So there is a trade-off right there, but I do think it's extremely viable for Dracovish itself just because of spamming Bolt Beak. Its other moves, of course, are going to be a lot weaker, and there will be a noticeable difference just because it has base 100 attack. Shout out to Eve, by the way, for compiling this list for me. Much love. Appreciate you. But yeah, as well as like Dracovish, I think the big thing about Dracovish and Dracozolt are Dracovish appreciates the fact that it gets the Strong Jaw boost on Fishious Wren, because Dracovish is not a Pokemon, it is a move, Fishious Wren, right? Doesn't matter if you resist, it clicks that move. So while outspeeding your opponent will always give you a Fishious Wren at, wait, what do I have this in? Oh, I have it in Gen 7 OU, what's wrong with me? Whatever. You know, always give you that doubled in power. There's a huge difference when you add in the Strong Jaw as well for that 1.5 times boost. But of course, on Choice Band sets, could be really nice as an alternative to what was before a Choice Scarf Dracovish. So I love that for Dracovish and Dracozolt. I do like that for Arctovish and Arctozolt too, because I think that in lower tiers, or even, you know, going as far up to UU and maybe even OU, Bolt Beam coverage is phenomenal. So like this is, you know, we have Rotom Frost, obviously, but this is like a Pokemon on the physical side that can really do this really well. Again, only coming off a base 100 attack, but Bolt Beat being doubled in power when faster. I love that, especially for Hail teams, and you know, it has a good move pull either way. It's just like this. This is something that you would run on this Pokemon in particular, something like this. But I love that for lower tiers. I think that's going to be a pretty big thing. These Mons might even get banned in whatever tier they end up being. I'm pretty sure Arctovish right now is PU. If I'm not mistaken, it's NU. Okay. So I don't think it'd be NU, and this one is PUBL, so this one got banned from PU itself. I definitely think they're going to go up even more from that, so I love that for potentially Hail teams and making them a little bit better, because at this point, what do you use Hail for? You use Alolan Ninetales to set up Aurora Veil. That's it. You don't have a full team around that. You use Vanillix to click Blizzard and Taunt and Freeze Dry, and you don't usually run a full team with that. It's a wall breaker by itself, just because it has those, you know, 110 base special attack and fires off 100% accurate blizzards. But for these guys, definitely a really cool thing. I think it's great too because, you know, as we got Pokemon, let's go all the way back to I don't even know if Chandelure even gets, like, it got infiltrated, right? They got rid of Shadow Tag. But let's go all the way back to Black and White, for instance. Before Contrary Superior was released, Zapdos had Lightning Rod over Static. Chandelure had Shadow Tag as its Dream World ability, which is what we called them back then, hidden abilities. And we weren't able to use them. And eventually, as time changed, you saw that Chandelure got Infiltrator and Zapdos got Static, which ended up being way worse than Lightning Rod in terms of fighting it. I mean, it's really good, but it's terrible to fight because, man, you go for U-turn and your mana is punished for it. But it's cool because now we don't have to wait. So even if new Pokemon drops or a new generation drops, as long as there's items in the game, it doesn't matter. At this point, why even make it a hidden ability, right? But I'm glad we got the capsule. I really am. Let's talk about a few Pokemon that are also already in the game or are coming back in the game with the Crown Tundra DLC that were, you know, apparently data mined or whatnot. That get it. So first off, Pikachu can now run Lightning Rod plus Extreme Speed. This is something that Pikachu could not do before. It was forced to run Static. While this isn't the biggest change for Pikachu, because it's a Pikachu, I mean, it's still a very big threat with a Light Ball. And the fact that it can actually switch in and have that electric immunity is pretty big too. Plus you can run like something like Mix, like you can just run Volt Switch or Thunderbolt or whatever, Grass Knot or what, I don't care. Whatever you run, whatever's legal on this thing, Thunderbolt, whatever. So there you go. Or you can be like Ash and be like, you know, Quick Attack. Just throw out Extreme Speed and put Volt Tackle and then get rid of that for Electro Ball or whatever the hell, or Electro Web, whatever the hell he's doing. And that man needs to age because he needs to grow in wisdom. But anyway, so Pikachu having access to Extreme Speed, that's pretty good. I think that like in the lower tiers, I actually believe Pikachu is a threat. I've used it multiple times in different NUs and whatnot. It's PU this generation, but still hits very hard. And being able to actually have that electric immunity, so Rotom forms can't Volt Switch on you, I like that a lot. Now this is a really big one. Clefable can now have the combination of Unaware and Soft Boiled, and this is absolutely huge. Previously, if you wanted to run an Unaware Clefable, you would have to run Wish or Moonlight as your recovery option. So Wish is cool, but you're forced to basically run Protect there. And obviously Magic Guard doesn't really care because it doesn't take hazards, it doesn't take status, right? But before you had to run like Wish, Protect, this was like a standard Clef on potentially Stall, Moonblast, and then like Heal Bell, for instance, right? Or you ran, some people even ran like Calm Mind or Calm Mind Moonlight, but of course Moonlight has 8 PP. So it sucks. Soft Boiled is an incredible move, especially on Unaware Clef, and you could even run like Soft Boiled, Calm Mind, Moonblast, Flamethrower, Unaware Clef, or whatever with heavy duty boost, right? So that way you don't take status damage and you bluff the Magic Guard, whatever you want to do with it. I just think it's a huge thing for Clefable in general because now you can run Unaware with good, reliable recovery, right? You don't have to have a 2-turn, you don't have to Protect. You don't have to do that sort of thing. That's amazing for Clef. That makes Unaware Clef that much better, as if Clef needed a buff. Whatever. Anyway, now we have Licky Licky, and now this is a pretty big one. Licky Licky, and I've used Licky Licky in draft too, so this is pretty big for draft as well. But I've used Licky Licky in draft, and I've used as a Wish support mon. And you know, when I'm fighting weather, when I'm fighting rain teams, especially because Licky Licky always ends up in lower tiers anyways, you can see right here it's PU. I want to have the Wish support, as you know, it obviously helps the team. This mon is pretty thick when it comes to HP, so you get that nice Wish passing to your teammates, helps them out. However, in lower tiers, weather is scary, rain is always scary. Though I know PU banned Damp Rock and something, I don't know, Lipard from using, I don't remember what the combination was, Onyx from using, it was something weird, but it was like that. I'm sure rain was busted, but even sun can be scary too. And even, like I said, in draft, your opponent has a rain draft type of thing. I can now run Cloud9, and what Cloud9 does is it basically, the effects of weather conditions are disabled, so they don't have those boosts anymore if they're in rain, those water boosts and whatnot. So it's pretty cool because now you can use an effective stopper, which it already could do if you ran Cloud9 anyway, but you weren't able to use Wish and Heal Bell with it. So now Licky Licky has reliable recovery with a good ability, and not that it didn't have good abilities anyway. Untap and buff Oblivious are really nice. Oblivious not being able to be taunted is fantastic on a support Pokemon. But if you're fighting weather, like I said, in draft, this is pretty cool. Dragonite. So there's a set of Dragonite that some people ran in DVP, and I know some people, well, they didn't really run it after because it got multi-scale. But it was Dragon Dance, Heal Bell, Roost, and then you can run Earthquake, or you can run Sob, or you can run, well, obviously you want Dragon Claw as well. So it's like a mono attacking. So Heal Bell, Dragon Dance, Dragon Claw, Roost. And when Dragonite got multi-scale, Heal Bell was not legal with multi-scale. However, this changes that. So now if you have an Inner Focus Dragonite, you give it the Hidden Ability Capsule, or whatever it's going to be called. I'm assuming it's going to be called a Hidden Ability Capsule because we have Ability Capsule. You give it multi-scale, and now you can run a mono attacking one. On top of that, the fact that heavy duty, I put heavy duty boots here, but heavy duty boots is now an item too. So you can even run, shoot, it doesn't even have to be like Dragon Dance, but it could just be full on support, like Dragon Tail type stuff, you know, which is Heal Bell, Roost, Dragon Tail, and like whatever, Flamethrower. It doesn't, I don't care. You know how Mence runs like defensive Mence at sometimes. You can do something like that. So I think that's a pretty big addition for Dragonite. Definitely opens up its arsenal. Again, in draft, that's going to be really cool. Can't wait for this mono to eventually come back. And I hope the Crown Tundra stuff was right, because I would love to use Dragonite again. Entei. Entei can now run Inner Focus with Flare Blitz and Extreme Speed. Why the hell does anybody care? Well, if you didn't remember, Inner Focus now blocks Intimidate. So, when Landorus comes back and that boy tries to come in on a Flare Blitz and he's like, oh, well, you're going to do 40% because here's my Intimidate. I'm Landorus. But no, I got my Inner Focus, so I ain't scared of you. And I'm going to hit you with a full force Flare Blitz doing what, 63%, 70%, whatever. Landorus, Schmanderish. Offensive Landorus is going to get blown back. So that's really cool. Not to mention the fact that you can run different natures because we have the naturements too. So that's even bigger for this. Amon in general, you can run Jolly with all these stuff. Though I think these, I don't remember if this combination. What was the combination? Sacred Fire. Was it Sacred Fire? Was it Sacred Fire? The Adamant? One of them had to be shiny. I don't remember the events, man. There's so much stuff that goes on. These events are. Just give me the Pokemon. If the Pokemon can learn a move in a previous thing, even if it's by event, just give it to me later, man. Just why do I have to go to my Pokemon Emerald and transfer it to XD Gale Darkness and jump over, you know, skip a couple of rocks and Pokemon Home and Pokemon whatever it's called, my Pokemon Ranch, just to get it all the way to Pokemon Sword and Shield. If I get this Mon in the game, just give it access to those moves. Whatever. Cool for Entei just because it does block Intimidate. X-Plow can now use Double Edge with Scrappy. You're like, oh, well, whatever. It's Scrappy, Boom Burst is better. Sure. But if you didn't know, X-Plow has the same base attack as it has special attack. So it has a pretty good physical move pool, if you guys didn't know. Like, it can run a good mix one. It has good both physical and special moves. So it can run a reliable mix one, and with Scrappy, not only does it block Intimidate, so that's cool for a physical attack, but also obviously you can hit ghost types as well with your stab. So pretty big thing for that Pokemon. Dusclops can run Seismic Toss plus Frisk. That might not sound like it's that great, but basically it can run its standard set with Frisk, and it just lets it scout items. That's the thing. Obviously, I would say in our metagame. So basically the singles, Pressure's probably better because you're probably going to run Rest Talk, Dusclops or something. But if you're playing in VGC, I think Frisk is cool because you get to see your opponent's item, and you can still do your Seismic Toss, whatever, Ally Switch, Bulldoze, whatever you want, whatever the Mon does in the game, type of thing, and you can run that over, I guess, Nightshade. So yeah, Dusknoir can run Frisk plus Sucker Punch, and this is pretty big because Dusknoir got Poltergeist, so it finally has a good Ghost type attack to use with its base 100 attack, and obviously with a Choice Band. So now you can use your strongest priority move with Frisk, because Pressure doesn't really help when you're on a Choice Band, so who cares about Pressure? So you can now know your opponent's item. That's going to be very useful in, you know, things like Sucker Punch and whatnot, and then, you know, you go from there. So pretty cool being able to have that priority on this Pokemon going forward. And yeah, I mean, obviously you can still run like Shadow Sneak and Earthquake and all that stuff, but it's just a cool little thing. Glalie, for those Battle Stadium singles or whatever you want to play this Mon with, Moody, even though Moody got nerfed, it's still banned in singles, but it can run Moody plus Sing now, and yeah, that's it doesn't boost the accuracy anymore. That was the nerf they ended up doing to this move, but I don't know, when you're behind a sub with this Pokemon, if I could do Sub, Protect, Sing, Freeze Dry, even though I love Disable on this set, if I'm able to put my opponent to sleep 55% of the time, it's clean. It's annoying. So I'm sure that would be very annoying on Battle Stadium singles. Frostlass can run Curse Body plus Sucker Punch, and you're like, well, why the hell does that matter? Well, I don't know if you guys saw my video, but Frostlass has, did I call it Frostmoth? My bad. Frostmoth, Frostlass has the same base attack as it does special attack, and if you guys didn't know, that Mon got some good moves this generation. So, Triple Axle, Poltergeist. So now I can run the good ability basically with Sucker Punch as well. Just to let you guys know. So that was just something like it could still like switch and stuff like that too. So that was just something that it now has access to. So it can run a good priority move without having to run the ability that doesn't do anything for it. So that's nice. Registeel can run Light Metal plus Seismic Toss. I like this a lot because Clear Body doesn't really matter on the standard Registeel set. So like this is the standard. This would be a standard Registeel when it comes back. Well, this was always a standard Registeel. I don't know if it'll be a standard Registeel when it comes back, but standard Registeel doesn't really take advantage of Clear Body because who the hell cares if your stats are lowered for the most part. I guess if something Shadow Balls you, it sucks that you get your Spadef drop, but can't size and toss them on anyway. You're still toxic and protect and he hits. But Light Metal is pretty cool because it allows you to weaken the damage of low kicks and heat crashes. Heat crash a lot of Pokemon got, and obviously low kick is something that Registeel does fear. So just a little cool little combination there. And obviously, guys, if you know some combinations that I'm missing, please discuss them. I would love to know. It's just a quick list, and then obviously we added these guys too, which I think is going to be the most fun for this generation. And last but not least, Flame Body Heatran is finally legal after 10 years. I swear this Pokemon came out before, but it did not. But Flame Body Heatran is finally gonna be legal. It's about time. Now, Flash Fire is really good, and obviously when it comes to OU, with Cinderace and Rotom Heat, we don't know how the OU is going to change, but I mean Cinderace and Rotom Heat are going to be good Pokemon. I mean Cinderace might even be banned, who knows? But Rotom Heat's always going to be a good Pokemon, and obviously being able to be immune to Volcarona's move instead of taking neutral damage from it is better, but maybe not in OU, it won't be a big thing. But let's look at Draft League. If my opponent doesn't have Volcarona or Cinderace or Rotom Heat, I can run Flame Body Heatran and I can punish, let's say they have a Scizor and they go for U-turn, I can punish that. 30% chance to burn. If Zapdos can static every single Pokemon that has ever touched it in the world, which it can, and it does, Flame Body Heatran can do something similar. So I do think that, again, in like a single standpoint, I do think that Flash Fire is way better. Just that immunity is just so big for the reasons I mentioned before. But Flame Body is such a cool little addition for draft and just opens up Heatran even more. And of course, there are other mods that were released. I mean, if you look at the Tapus, they all have telepathy as their secondary ability, which I personally would run the moves that help them the most. Grassy Surge, you know, the one with Electric Terrain, Psychic Terrain, Misty Terrain. But I mean, who knows? In double, I'm not a doubles player. So in doubles, maybe telepathy could be better in some sort of situation. And I'm sure there's a few other Pokemon that were not released, but unfortunately, when you look at it, when you look at this gen, as you see right here, it shows. As you can see right here, it shows it, but it doesn't show me for the mons that weren't. Even if I look at old gens, like I look at Gen, that's why I was in Gen 7 OU, because I was looking at Heatran and it said Flame Body. It didn't say it crossed out, but. Again, I still think this is nice. I love the quality of life changes they're giving to us. As I mentioned before, I think it's cool for, you know, the more casual fan base as well that maybe wants a shiny Pokemon with this ability. And maybe they're trying to get into competitive, and maybe they're breeding. Maybe they don't play on Pokemon Showdown, which is what we're on. By the way, feel free to subscribe. We're 19 minutes in, but feel free to subscribe to my channel if you're not already. But I love this. I love the quality of life updates. I hope they keep happening. The best update for me would be if they fixed the timer, or at least gave us access to a real timer, so like a battle. You know, in 6v6 battles on Wi-Fi, because that's my passion, but is what it is at this point. We'll make a video about that sort of thing. But again, pretty cool to see this quality of life change. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know some Pokemon I might have missed that you think is going to be a big impact when it comes to this. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye, my friends.